Welcome friends to another 40k video. Today we again dip into the great work of Belisarius Cawl by Guy Haley, where the Archmagos suggests a way to heal a planet once all life has been scoured like Darwin's scythe by the Tyranids. So we will set up who they are and what they do, tell you the aftermath using passages from the book, and then look at Cawl's solution. Spoilers for the book throughout, let's get straight into it. The Tyranids are a galactic swarm that consumes everything that gets in its way, stripping planets of life, leaving their dead husks in their wake. A planet can be stripped of all organic life by the Tyranids in a few weeks. Though we know little of their origins, they are not native to the 40k galaxy, but their hunger has driven them across it for new feeding grounds. Before the hive even reaches a world, their influence can be felt, a smothering psychic signal that covers star systems and stops communication and warp travel, allowing no avenue for their victims' escape, creating dread amongst the planet's people before a single hoof has been placed on the surface by the Tyranids and isolating them from outside help. They travel around the galaxy in hive fleets, living ships, and upon finding a world to harvest, all they want is the biomass. They need this as food and to grow new creatures to continue themselves. These ships then create an army with the purpose of defeating the planet's defenders and eating the biomatter there during and after the conflict. These warriors can tear you apart with their claws and mouths, fire from biocannons grown from their own form, or unleash missiles from the same source, and these are built from the material of previous invasions. Should they encounter anything new, they can in a short span create a creature specialized to combat that foe. They are always adapting. They are not individuals but a single consciousness that drives all of them, old and new, the hive mind allowing them to fight and adapt with frightening single-mindedness through their telepathy. If this link is lost, they can become wild and animalistic. So they have flown near a planet, stripped it of its defenders, and defeated the foes there. What are the final steps of a planet's consumption? The defenders and those who are just victims are used as a biomass. Maggots called rippers eat everything they encounter, living or dead, and once full, drag themselves to the capillary towers, more on that in a moment, and add to the mass what they have eaten, adding it to the biomass pool, and then they throw themselves in. Nothing is wasted with the Tyranids. Similar creatures then strip the ocean and the planet's crust of life, even mineral reserves. Whilst this goes on, great capillary towers, which can be many kilometers tall, grow and consolidate the gathered biomass. They also absorb the biomass from microbes and small flying creatures. Once the planet's defenders are ended, the towers feed biomass to the ships in orbit through tendrils. Then the last of the Tyranids hurl themselves into the digestive pools to be broken down. The tower then absorbs the planet's water system until they break down themselves and are absorbed back into the ships. Cawl, in his book, The Great Works, sees the damage done to the planet Sotha. As the book tells it, from high orbit it looked like a barren garden patch, with a few handfuls of dry stalks poking from the dust. As their ship, the Overlord, descended, these resolved themselves into the later remains of feeding towers. The fleshy parts had been stripped from them, leaving behind the mineral structure that held them aloft. The ship moves closer. Plains of dry seas rose from depths to shallows, and finally to the shore, where wealthy districts once enjoyed far-reaching ocean views, and now blind windows gazed at empty amenities. And everywhere were signs that this had been a thriving, life-rich world. Ships lay like discarded toys in ocean dust, sucked free of all organic matter, piers extended over bare rock from the dockside. Even the air had been changed. the space was freezing cold and the atmospheric mix poor. Carbon dioxide predominated with a heavy oxygen content and few of the other gases present on Terran analog worlds. And of course Cawl sees a way to restore the planet. He says, for all they take, the Tyranids do not mine, they are surface eaters. He says water is still locked in the rocks of the world, which can help with the atmosphere and can be liberated from the minerals. Cawl says, if we had additional water and gases taken from the rest of the southern system and reintroduced flora and fauna cloned from vault samples held in the library of Tomley on Macragge, then I should think we would have a hydrological cycle within 50 years, a rudimentary ecosystem within a century, while something approaching full life could be restored within the course of 350 years, give or take a century, no time at all. Something just worth noting here in brief is that Cawl definitely sounds pretty arrogant saying that, but I think his theories are probably correct, and he is very long-lived, as is the Space Marines, so from his perspective, it may not seem that long amount of time. So, easy days according to Cawl. So now friends, I turn this over to you. Did you enjoy this video about the scouring of life and the restoration of a planet? Comment down below.